السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم أبنائي وبناتي طلاب الصف الثاني الثانوي. معكم مستر حسام حسن من منصة البث المباشر وزارة التربية والتعليم. أرحب بكم مع session of chemistry. Now we start in the chemistry revision for some questions from the assessments and some aims we want to care in this section. In these sessions, we discuss some questions and how to answer these questions. Question number one, which of the following represents a combination of two atoms of an element whose atomic numbers 8? Now, first, each atom shared by one electron, each atom shared by two electrons, ionic bonds is formed, physical bonds is formed. Now, you must use your paper and your pencil and write electronic configuration of oxygen 8, helium 2s2, 2b4. Now we have 6 electrons in the outermost energy levels. Now, each atoms shared by 2 electrons. So the correct answer is B. I means each atoms are shared by 2 electrons. Okay, by 2 electrons. Details of this I illustrated this before. The elements, so is atomic numbers 8 is oxygen. It has 6 electrons in its outer shells and needs 2 more to achieve the stable octets to form the molecule O2. Each oxygen atom shared by using 2 electrons forming double covalent bond. Now we transfer the next questions. This question, noble gas molecules consists of one atom, 2 atoms, 3 atoms, or 4 atoms. Now, noble gas is noble gas. I mean, doesn't share with any atoms for the electrons or chemical reaction. Chemical reactions needs sharing of electrons, needs active elements. So noble gas is noble gas. Noble gas doesn't share because the number of electrons in the outermost energy levels is equal to 8. So the correct answer is A, 1 atom. The correct answer here is 1 atoms because the noble gas like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon have full valence shell. They are chemically inert and don't bond with another atom. Don't lose, don't gain, and don't share of electrons because these elements are inert gases. So as is a single independent atoms, mono atom. Next questions. In the opposite graphical figures show the successive ionization potentials of an electron X. I have in this graph the successive ionization energy of X. The first ionization energy, second ionization energy, third ionization energy, fourth ionization energy, high jump 5, fifth ionization energy. You find this the difference between the distance between the fourth ionization energy and fifth ionization energy. This jump benefit us to know that this jumping of the energy means it is impossible to lose this electron, but need very high energy to lose the fifth energy because it's need to break complete orbitals or complete sublevels or complete main levels. So the answer will be depends on the representation symbol of element Y that proceed X in the same group R. Okay, this is 4 electrons, so the true answer in the same group, not in the same period, the same group equal to 4. So the true answer is B. So the logic is successive ionization potential show a large jump when an electron is removed from a stable full shell configurations. The jump indicates the group of elements X, element Y comes before X is the same group, so Y would be in the period above X. Now we know that's X before or after in the same group, so Y would be in the period above X. The correct answer would be the Lewis dot symbols for that specific elements Y, so the correct answer is B. Correct answer is B. Y have 4 electrons, 4 dots around it. Now, in these questions, the electronic structures of atoms Q and R show Q and R for anionic compounds. You know this graph or this diagram, this is figures. Know the electronic configuration of 2 atoms. The first atom is 2 and 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, and the other is 2, 8, 8, 1. We have 1 electrons in the outermost energy levels for this R, and Q have 7 electrons. We knew before if you have 7 electrons in the outermost energy level, so this atoms this atom is what? This atom is non-metal, so it tends to gain 1 electrons to reach of octet shape or octet structure. And we have in the other atoms the number of electrons in the outermost energy levels equal to 1 electron. So it needs to lose these electrons to reach all the octet rules and reach into the stable shapes of this ion. Now they are converted in negative and positive ion. Now the electronic structure of atom Q and R and shown Q and R form anionic bonds. Now I explained that for these ionic bonds formed between them, what is the formula of the compounds. Now we find that this atom gain 1 electron and this atom will lose this electron, and this is converted into negative ion and the other converts into positive ion. Now C, it is the correct answer. The correct answer C, QR. Determine how many electrons Q and R needs to lose or gain to achieve the full outer shell. Now Q metals will lose 1 electrons to become positive ion, example Q positive 1. R non-metals will gain 1 electrons to become a negative ion, example R is negative ion. So the formula is the simplest ratio that make the total positive charge equal the total negative charge QR. Now we turn to the next question, number 5. Now non-metal X reacts with a metal M to give the formula M2X. Now we focus on this question to know what is the aim for this question, which bearing before is most like elements represents by M and X. Now we have M2X. I mean that M2X, M is monovalent and X is divalent. Now we have many examples, Ca20 and N7. Now we have firstly you make electronic configuration of each choosings to know what means this M2X. M is a monovalence and X is non-metal. Non-metal X to divalence, because X must be gain 2 electrons when it reacts, M lose 1 electrons. So X needs 2M from this reaction. Each one lose 1 electrons when it's in this reaction. Okay. Now, which one is divalence here? Nitrogen, no, it is trivalence, because 2, 5, or 2s2 to b3. Now it is needs to 3 electrons to complete the outermost energy levels, so it is trivalent. Okay, sulfur is divalent, right? It is good. Sulfur is divalent because 16, 3s2, 3b4, so it needs 2 electrons, so it is called non-metal, and divalent because it needs 2 electrons to form the bonds. Oxygen, O2. O2 is the electronic configuration of the oxygen, 2s2 to b4, so it is need 2 electrons to form ionic bonds. Now we have 2, but fluorine 9 is monovalent. Okay, we can delete and remove A and D from our choosing. We need B or C. Now we need lithium or silicon monovalence. Okay, lithium is a true answer because lithium is 2s1, but silicon 2s2 to b2. Now the correct answer is B. Now we correct answer is B, right? Lithium 7 and sulfur 16. So this is details I illustrated before, because the formula M2X means 2 metals atom M bonds with 1 non-metals atoms X for the compounds to be neutral, to be a neutral. The total charge of 2M atoms must balance the charge of 1x atom. This happens if M, find the group 16, lithium Li is in group 1A or 1, this is positive ion, and sulfur S is in group 16, negative 2 ion. Formula is L2S. Now it is the true answer. Now we prove our answer from these indications when you make electronic configuration of each atom to know that's good. Number 6. Which of the following doesn't conduct electricity? I illustrated before in our sessions the conductivity depends on the metals, because metals have and free electrons to conduct this electricity. Now we choose from these compounds, but we have the metals. No, sorry, I mean metals. Now in this choose depends on the compounds. Okay. The compounds you must choose must be ionic compounds, and this ionic compound must be soluble in water. You must have soluble ionic compound. Now you have NaCl aqueous solution, it is ionic compound. KCl liquid solution, it is ionic compound, a liquid is free in ions. MgCl2 solid doesn't conduct electricity. LiF is aqueous solution. Now we repeat this again, and we have correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Yeah, is MgCl2, because correct answer is C. Why? Because electrical conductivity requires freely moving charges, particles, ions, or electrons. NaCl aqueous solutions, ions are free to move to conduct electricity, and KCl, the molten state ions, are free to move, conducts. MgCl2 is a solid ionic compounds. Ions are held in fixed positions and cannot move, doesn't conduct electricity. LiF in aqueous solution, so the solution ions are free to move the ions inside it. and conduct the electricity. Which of the following choice represents groups whose elements together forms a strong ionic compound or ionic bond? 1 and 2A, 6A and 7A, 2A and 4A, 1A and 7A. I mean here is what is the strongest. Opposed elements together form strong ionic. Okay, the strength of ionic compounds depends on the difference between the two ions and the electronegativity. Okay, you must know the positions of 1A and 2A and 3A and 4A and the other things of the periodic table to find the first 1A and 7A, because 1A from the initial of periodic table from the left side, and 7A it is the last group in the right side of the periodic table. So the electronegativity or difference in electronegativity is very huge. So the correct answer is D, 1A and 7A. So the details ionic bonds are strongest between elements with the greatest difference in the electronegativity. Group 1A, I told you before, is alkali metals in the initial or the first in the positions of the periodic table, and the first in the left side and lowest electronegativity, and group 7A halogens have the highest electronegativities. This large difference creates a very strong ionic bonds. Now we transform the question number 8 for the chosen. Which of the following equation express an instantaneous reactions a NaCl plus AgNO3 equals produce NaNO3 plus AgCl, and the other is Zn solid state plus H2SO4 in aqueous solution, ZnSO4 plus hydrogen, N2 plus 3H2 produce 2NH3 gas state, Fe plus HCl, FeCl2 plus hydrogen. Now, which is the fastest or the equation which occurs fastly? Now we have NaCl in aqueous solution and AgNH3 in aqueous solution, and the displacements between two ions is very fast. So this is the fastest reactions. Now the correct answer is A, NaCl plus AgNO3, because the displacements occur between the two ions in between the two compounds of CO. So each one is ionic solution compounds. This ionic solution compound is very faster for anything because it is easy to make displacements in aqueous solution for them. Now details and instant again instant I'm sorry instant, you see, for reactions occurs as soon as reactions are mixtures for that. Now this is a precipitation reactions between two solutions. Now the moment they mix Ag plus and Cl negative ions combines to form solid AgCl instantly. Okay, number B and D, reactions of solid metals with acids. This starts immediately but take time to complete. Now in the C, the Haber and Bosch process requires high temperatures, pressures, and catalyst. It is a slow reaction. Now we make causing of each things for these details and explain for that instantaneous. Okay, now metal tends to reach the electronic configurations of number A, the inert gas that's follow it's in the periodic table. B, the inert gas that precedes it's in the periodic table. C, the metal that is less chemically active than last is the non-metals that's more chemically active than it. Now, metals tends to reach its electronic configuration of the inert gas to reach of the stable for the inert gases because precedes its periodic table. Metals achieve stability by losing one or more electrons from the outermost energy level. When they lose these electrons, they are left with the electron configurations of the noble gas that comes before them. For example, sodium Na lose one electrons to become Na positive, which has the same configurations as neon Na. It is a noble gas that precedes us now. And we have in the last choices of these reactions. Now we saw that's the scientific that state the scientific reasons for molten and solution of ionic compounds conduct electricity. Why? Why molten and solutions are good conduct of electricity? Because the molten state of the aqueous state of the solution of ionic compounds dissociate or ionized into constituent ions, because the components of these compounds like NaCl when dissolved in water is dissociate into Na positive and Cl negative. These ions help us for the conducting of electricity. These ions becomes free to move and can carry an electric current through the liquid, so it is a good conductor of electricity. Now, metals and non-metals are chemically active, while noble gas are chemically inert. Why? Because metals and non-metals, they are saturated in the outermost of energy levels, so it is needs to share of the chemical compounds or forms bonds between another atoms to reach the stability state or to reach the closest inert gas by losing or gaining of electrons or by sharing of electrons. So it is the correct answer here. And the metals and non-metals have incomplete valence electron shell and tends to lose gain or sharing of electrons to achieve the stable state. Now, configurations in noble gases already have the complete valence shells. It is very stable elements, so they have no tendency to react and are chemically inert. So they called is inert gas. Write the chemical formula for an ionic compounds. For this oxygen using the following table, write the chemical formula for an ionic compound. Correct. Here we MgCl2 or AlCl3 so details form the an ionic compounds. We need the metal and non-metal to form the ionic compound. Mg and Cl, Na and Cl. These forms MgCl2 and AlCl3. Al and Cl is a metals group 13 from Al plus 3, and chlorine is non-metals form Cl negative. The formula is Al3. Both of it correct. MgCl2 is more classic examples of simple ionic compounds. Now, which of the following compounds has the lowest ionic character? Sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, potassium chloride, or aluminum chloride? Now, we have many examples and you need to explain that. Know that. Now, which one is the lowest? So the aluminum chloride. Why? Why it is aluminum chloride? It is compounds that have the lowest ionic characters because the the difference in electronegativity between them is less than 1.7. Now, AlCl3, it is ionic character is lower because when the electronegativity difference is smaller, aluminum has a relatively high electronegativity, and it's a small, highly charged ion plus 3, Al plus 3, distorts the electrons clouds of chloride, given the bond's significance. Covalent characters, it has lowest ionic characters, and compares to the very ionic NaCl, KCl, and MgCl2. Now, which of the following choices represents the physical bonds? Now, we discuss ionic bond, covalent bond, metallic bonds, or coordinate bonds. Now, we discussed before the physical bonds is not sharing of electrons. Now, ionic bond is a sharing of electrons. One of them lose of electrons, and the other is gain of electrons. Covalent bond, one of the components of the molecule share by some of electrons, and the other share the same number of electrons. Now, C is metallic bonds, no sharing of electrons, and this attraction force between the positive ions. So C as a metallic bonds, because it's the context. A physical bonds likely refers to a point that is not primary chemical bonds between discrete atoms. Metallic bonds is the attractions between the metals ion and a sea of delocalized electrons. Ionic, covalence, and coordinate bonds are all primary chemical bonds involving electrons transferring of or sharing of one of them, lose gain of electrons. Which of the following compounds has the highest ionic character? So I need the strongest now, not the lowest. Sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, potassium chloride, aluminum chloride. I find here it is potassium chloride. Why C is the true answer? Because the difference between the two ions is 1.7 molar. Ionic character is greater with a large electronegativity. Difference KClK equal to 0.89 and Cl is 3.16 is more than electronegativity 2.34. The large difference in the ACl is 0.93 and Cl 3.16. So as the electronegativity difference equal 2.23, and MgCl2 is 1.31 and chlorine is 3.16. So is the difference in electronegativity equal to 1.85, and AlCl3 Al 1.61 and chlorine 3.16. So it is a electronegativity approximately equal to 1.55. So the highest electronegativity, the highest difference in electronegativity is KCl. The Swiss saw that KCl equal 2.34 is the large. Now, which of the following choice represents a chemically bond? So this is the action of this chemical bonds: van der Waals bonds, hydrogen bonds, metallic bonds, or covalent bonds. It is covalent bonds, because the covalent bonds need share of electrons, but the van der Waals attraction force, hydrogen bonds is attraction force, metallic bonds is attraction force. Which one needs to share the number of electrons is number D. It's a covalent bonds, because a covalent bonds depends on the sharing of electrons between two or more atoms. So involving sharing of electrons, van der Waals bonds, and the other is true. Now we finished our session now, and I'm very happy to see you, and I will see you next time, and thank you for good listening. Bye bye. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.